Honestly, I've been working really hard to get back to full health, and I feel like probably over these last couple of weeks is when I've probably started feeling my best. Obviously, my ankle kind of didn't allow me to really see where my groin was at. It was, I think, my second full court workout back when we were in, I don't even know what month that would have been, but I just went to kind of make a move, and unfortunately my ankle like completely rolled all the way forward, and probably one of the worst sprains I've dealt with. But I've just tried to stay positive the best I can, and but I honestly feel like I'm in a really good spot. And people don't always realize, I mean, people that are kind of in the basketball world, or whether if you're in other sports too, like when you're injured, it's honestly more work than when you're playing. So I've spent so much time here in this building this season, just trying to get healthy, and trying to kind of just get back to 100%. And honestly, I think that, if I never was,
Caitlin Clark is opening up about one of the most challenging periods of her young career. While fans were waiting to see her return to the court, Caitlin was fighting a much tougher battle behind the scenes, working every day to recover from multiple injuries. She explains that the groin issue was already something she was managing, but the ankle injury created another major obstacle when she was trying to build her way back. During one of her full court workouts, Caitlin suffered a serious ankle sprain that forced her recovery process to slow down again. For an athlete who is used to competing at the highest level, being unable to play can be one of the most frustrating experiences. But instead of losing focus, Caitlin stayed committed to the process and continued putting in the work to get her body ready. She also gives fans a glimpse into the reality of professional sports injuries. Many people only see the games, the highlights, and the performances, but they don't see the long hours athletes spend in training rooms, doing rehabilitation exercises, and working through difficult days when progress feels slow. Caitlin explains that recovering from an injury can sometimes require even more effort than playing because every small improvement matters. The biggest takeaway from Caitlin's message is her mindset. She never believed her season was finished. Every day she walked into the facility with the goal of returning to the court, putting her uniform back on, and competing with her teammates again. That confidence and determination helped her stay mentally strong during a time when many athletes struggle with frustration and uncertainty. Caitlin's injury journey shows a different side of her career. Not just the superstar player fans see during games, but the person behind the scenes who is willing to fight through setbacks, stay patient, and continue working toward her comeback. This experience may have taken her away from basketball temporarily, but the lessons she learned could become some of the most valuable ones of her career.
I have great respect for Fee, and I think she made a lot of very valid points. And I think what people need to understand, we need great leadership in this time across all levels. This is straight up the most important moment in this league's history. Well, this league's been around for 25 plus years, and this is a moment we have to capitalize on. So that's honestly.
Caitlin Clark is making it clear that she believes the WNBA is standing at a historic turning point. After more than 2 decades of growth, she says this is the moment where strong leadership and smart decisions could shape the future of the league for years to come. She recognizes that the attention around women's basketball has reached a level never seen before, with more fans, more media coverage, and more young athletes looking up to the game. Caitlin understands the opportunity in front of the WNBA and believes everyone involved has a responsibility to help the league continue growing. Her message goes beyond just basketball. Caitlin is talking about building a stronger future, creating a better experience for players and fans, and making sure this new wave of popularity becomes something that lasts for generations. With the league gaining unprecedented attention, she believes this is the moment to take action and move women's basketball forward.
Continuing to evolve, and back to my main point, like I said, we are in the biggest moment in WNBA history. There's no denying that. Everybody knows that, and everybody that's in a place in power has a true responsibility, and even myself, we have a responsibility to make sure that this game is in a great place going forward with the CBA, and, you know, caring for our players, and, you know, building this league to make sure it's in a great spot for many years to come, because you all know I grew up as a huge fan of this league, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this the league that, you know, a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old, a girl in college is really proud of, to come into and to be able to put a WNBA uniform on. And, you know, that's what they dream of, and then hopefully they can accomplish that goal, because that's exactly who I was, and that's, you know, really at the end of the day, like, I hope that's what my legacy can be, is just how I impacted people to be able to make.
Caitlin Clark is speaking about a moment that could define the future of women's basketball. She understands that the WNBA is currently experiencing a level of attention and excitement that the league has never seen before. More fans are watching, more people are following the players, and more young athletes are beginning to believe that playing professional basketball is a real possibility. But Caitlin knows that this opportunity comes with a responsibility to make sure the growth continues in the right direction. She explains that everyone connected to the league has an important role to play in building a stronger future. From players and coaches to league leadership, every decision matters during this important time. Caitlin believes this is not just about enjoying the current success. It is about creating a foundation that will allow the WNBA to continue growing for many years. Of the biggest changes she recognizes is how athletes are developing their brands earlier than ever before. Young players are entering the professional level with established fan bases, stronger voices, and more opportunities because of the way the sports world has evolved. Caitlin sees this as a positive change that can help bring more attention to the league and introduce women's basketball to even more people around the world. However, Caitlin's message is not focused only on popularity or business. She is talking about the people behind the game. She believes a successful league is built by caring for the athletes, creating opportunities, and making sure players feel valued. For her, leadership is about understanding the bigger picture and making choices that benefit everyone involved, not just a select few. Caitlin also connects this moment to her own journey. She remembers being a young basketball fan who watched the game, admired the players before her, and dreamed about one day wearing a professional uniform. Now she has become one of the players inspiring the next generation. She wants young girls watching today to believe they can achieve the same dream and have a place in this sport. This is why Caitlin sees her role as bigger than basketball. She wants her legacy to be about the impact she makes, the opportunities she helps create, and the growth she brings to the game. Her words show that she is not only focused on her own success, she is thinking about the future of women's basketball and the generations of players who will follow.
You know, I think that obviously there's probably a little bit of fatigue, but you know, we don't have time for that. You know, we talk often about standard over feelings. Like, we don't have time for that. I think the biggest thing is, you know, we've got to rely on our depth. You know, we're going to use our bench more. You know, we'll probably have some shorter stints, and everybody's got to be ready to go. I think where you see it the most is offensively when we settle. You know, I don't think we've had nearly as many trips to the free throw line as we'd like to have. Maybe settle a little bit. Our rotations might be a little slower on the defensive end of the floor, but you know, we've got to have a sense of urgency.
The coach is addressing one of the biggest challenges every team faces during a demanding season, managing fatigue while staying focused on the goal. With the team playing multiple games in a short period of time, There is no doubt that tired legs and physical pressure can start to impact performance. She admits that fatigue is part of the reality, but her message to the players is simple. The standard cannot drop just because things get difficult. Instead of focusing on how tired they feel, the team has to stay committed to the expectations they have set for themselves. The coach explains that this is where depth becomes extremely important. Every player on the roster has to be prepared to step in, contribute, and make an impact when their opportunity comes. Shorter minutes, more substitutions, and trusting the bench will all be key as the team tries to maintain its energy level. She also points out where fatigue can show up the most, especially on offense and defense. When players get tired, they may settle for difficult shots instead of attacking, and defensive rotations can become slower. That is why staying aggressive, focused, and connected as a team becomes even more important during a tough stretch. Her message reflects a championship mindset. Tiredness is expected, but the commitment to the team's goals cannot disappear. Great teams find ways to compete even when the schedule becomes challenging.
Offenses in all of history. You guys are one of the best offenses in history. Is that how you came into this season?
No, it's not. I always talk about defense. I think we know we've got talented offensive players. I think we have certainly two of the most gifted guards in the league, and then you add AB in there, and you got three of the most gifted players in the league. We know we can score, but so can other teams, right? Like we can't get caught up in thinking this is a we can outscore everybody battle. We can outscore some people, but we can't outscore everybody. And certainly when you're trying to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, we can't be lulled into thinking that that's going to be enough. So yes, I want to be one of the best.
The coach is making a clear statement about what it takes to become a true championship contender. She recognizes that this team has some of the most talented offensive players in the league and the ability to score at a high level. But she also understands that relying only on offense is not enough. She explains that even the best scoring teams can be challenged because every opponent in this league has the ability to put points on the board. The difference between a good team and a championship team often comes down to the little things. Defensive effort, making stops when it matters most, and staying disciplined under pressure. Her message shows that while the team's offensive firepower is a major strength, the focus cannot stop there. Talent can help you win games, but defense is what helps teams survive tough moments and compete for championships. The coach believes this group has the ability to be special, but reaching that level will require complete effort on both ends of the court.